Hello ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between. I wanted to reflect on 1 year of meditation. What I learned, what I've been through, and what helped me on my journey. So let's get started! Woo! So 1 year ago I started meditating, and I'm really grateful because my partner at that time was the one that told me to start meditating. I spent a lot of years being depressed and sad, and I was really down and really stressed. And one day my partner warmly recommended me to start meditation. And I've been wanting to do meditation my whole life. I always thought that I would need it a lot. But if I'm honest, I never felt ready for it. I thought, I can't. I can't face my own thoughts. I can't face my own fears. I was so overwhelmed just by feeling myself in the everyday life. I couldn't choose silence with myself because my thoughts and my feelings were so painful. Since my young teenage years, I always felt like my inner voice was my biggest enemy. So meditation would have been the worst thing in life for me, because it would have meant that I actually had to listen to that voice that killed me inside. But I've done therapy years. I've done hypnotherapy also years. I went to healers and all sort of people. I was searching happiness, inner peace, and I wasn't ready. And that's the thing about meditation. People often say that even when you're not ready, you need to do it. But personally, even though I wished I would have started earlier, I started right when I could, because I didn't feel ready to face my demons before. And that's why people are so scared of meditation, because when you meditate, you can't silence your own voice anymore. It takes a lot of courage to face yourself, to face your own insecurities, your own grief, your own pain, your own suffering. It took me 20 years to be ready to meditate, but when I started, it was the best decision of my life. And I'm so grateful that my ex-partner told me that I can do it. I was already ready, but I needed the outward push, the little guidance that tells me how to. A few months after I started meditating, I also started doing yoga almost every day. And the good thing was that yoga and meditation go very well together. And I'm going to do another video as well where I'm going to reflect and talk about my yoga journey for the last year. So I spent the last year meditating. It was liberating and frustrating. It was emotional and emotionless. I faced a lot of pain and I drowned in a lot of pain. That partner and I broke up, so I also faced the grief of losing someone that I loved. But meditation helped me to overcome that pain. When I started meditating, like so many other people, I started reading the book, The Power of Now. And whilst I thought before that meditation means that you need to force yourself not to think, I realized that meditation means accepting everything that is in this present moment. So the first few weeks of meditation were really painful for me. I struggled a lot. I felt like I was panicking. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't concentrate. And it felt overwhelming. When I started meditating, I only meditated for 15 minutes and I listened to calming music in the background. Most of the time I did the normal meditation pose that we all know. After some time, with the beautiful guidance of the Power of Now and my ex-partner, I started to feel liberated and I felt like my frequency was raising. When I'm in a relationship, I struggle with jealousy and anger issues. But within the meditation, I felt like for the first time in my life, I allowed my anger to come in. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I learned to control that anger. The Power of Now speaks a lot about the pain body. And one thing I always said when I was in pain was, is it ever gonna stop? Is the pain ever gonna go away? I just want it to go away. But one thing I didn't realize is when you push something away and you don't let it in, it grows. If you focus on something, it expands. And therefore, where focus goes, energy flows. And the thing with meditation is you need to feel that pain, that suffering, that struggle, that fear. But then you need to know when to let it go and when to change your thought pattern and release it. When I'm angry, it's usually my inner child that's hurt. My inner child feels inferior, mistreated, or not taken seriously. When I'm angry at someone in the present moment, it is just because they trigger something that was painful in the past. So for me to let go of that anger, it is very helpful to meditate and go inwardly and wonder what inside of me is feeling this right now. where is this feeling of anger or pain or sadness coming from? And then you can interact with your inner child, treat it with love and kindness, and let it go. A very nice thought about meditation is that you are the observer of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. So by distancing yourself and thinking, my inner angry child is feeling this, you, as the grown-up, healthy adult, can interact with your inner child and say, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. I'm here for you. And you let your inner child be angry. You let it stomp on the ground. You let it scream. And you just stand in front of your inner child calmly, peacefully, and with unconditional love. And that's when you feel the anger, but at the same time you have enough distance to just be the observer of that anger. And when it's felt and let go and reflected, you usually feel better. What in me is getting triggered by someone's reaction? So while reading The Power of Now and meditating every day, I started to feel so light and loved. It was like I was on drugs or high. It felt like I was high on life. It was beautiful. I went on a hike and I felt liberated. And for someone that was really, really jealous, I learned to grow out of that jealousy. Every time I would get jealous at another girl, I would literally try to say, I am love and I love you. I remember one day I came home and I was feeling the emotion of jealousy once again. And instead of stomping away, running away, getting angry, I chose to give that girl a hug instead. And the anger vanished naturally. But maybe on other days, the anger was so strong that I couldn't help it but drowning in that anger. And then I would sit down and just feel it. And yes, it's not easy to feel all that anger. And your thoughts are all over the place. But that's the beauty when it comes to meditation, because with time, it feels like your head full of clouds is slowly clearing up. It's beautiful. But I didn't only have that enlightened time. I also struggled. After me and my partner broke up, I felt like I was completely alone. And I felt lost and lonely and sad and heartbroken. That grief itself wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part was to sit with that grief and to feel it. I chose to go inward instead of distracting myself with a lot of music and a lot of visuals and people and alcohol and drugs. I felt it, and that was tough. But the thing about meditation is that you need to practice regularly. When you don't practice regularly, it's so easy to fall backwards into your regular habits. And that's one thing I realized, that the start of the meditation was hard, and then when I kept doing it, I was on this high. But after a couple months of meditating every day, it became everyday life. I started to feel frustrated that I didn't feel a big effect anymore, that I didn't feel a huge difference anymore. And I started to feel stuck. And that's where it's so important to change maybe the place where you meditate, your thoughts, the time or the amount of time that you meditate. And the good thing is there's so many different kinds of meditation. You can do guided meditation, you can do silent meditation, you can do meditation where you just listen to music. When I started, I was listening to calming music for 15 minutes. After a couple weeks, I just had a sound for the beginning and the ending of the meditation. And then when I started to feel stagnated, I decided to mix things up a little bit. And I would do speaking meditations where I said positive affirmations out loud rather than sitting in silence. And when I was feeling really sick or super exhausted, I just meditated lying down. I closed my eyes and was present lying down. One day I spoke to this man. He told me to meditate. And I responded to him that I already do meditate. He asked me how. And I told him I meditate 15 minutes in silence. He didn't even let me speak out and already said, "You're doing it wrong." And then he explained nostril breathing to me. Nostril breathing is a type of breathing that helps you to clear your nose, but also clears your mind. It works like this. You breathe in with your thumb against one nose, and then you put your small finger against the other one, and you breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. People recommend to do that, and it helps you a lot. Breath work in general is a really helpful way to clear your mind, to clear your body, and to connect body and soul. However, even though he explained me the method of breath work, which was, by the way, really helpful, he also said, you're doing it wrong. And that's one thing about meditation. You can't do it wrong. If you are doing it and if you're showing up, you're already winning. You're already doing it right. And everyone has their own way to meditate. I talk to a lot of people and they tell me I can't meditate. I have my own way. So the other day I did a puzzle with my sister. And for 3 hours we were just sitting next to each other puzzling. We were present, we were mindful, and it was a sort of meditation. Some people do walking meditation. Other people play music. Because when you play an instrument, you get into some sort of meditative state. The thing about meditation is, just like everything in life, it's a journey. And sometimes one thing will work for you perfectly, and another day the same thing will freak you out. There was a few months when I was feeling so frustrated with meditation because I felt so stuck and so stagnated in my own thoughts. But you know what? It's also okay to take breaks, to choose mindfully to take a break from meditation and say, right now this is not helping me, but I'm doing XYZ instead that is helping me as well. And then when you feel good again, you can get back to meditation. However, when you feel stressed and overwhelmed and anxious and you feel like you can't deal with your own thoughts and everything is too loud, and that's why you don't want to meditate, my love, that's when you need it the most. And even though it's so hard to sit in silence when you already have such a long list of things to do, you can make that time. Check your daily activity on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, and tell me that you cannot reduce 15 minutes of that time into mindfulness. Meditation changed my life. It increased my health. It increased the way I feel about myself, and it increased the way I felt about the world and everyone within. I believe that meditation can help you find happiness from the inside. And when you feel happy in the inside, you can go out there and spread your light and happiness with other people. And when you inspire someone else with your happiness, you already made the world a better place. People come to me and they say, I don't want to meditate, I don't want to go to therapy, I don't want to work on myself, I don't want to work on my own happiness, because that would be selfish. It is not selfish at all to work on your own happiness and focus on yourself. When you work on your own happiness, you are a nicer person to be around. When you are happy, you make other people happy. Like what they say, happy wife, happy life. If you want to help others, you need to help yourself first. If you want to make someone else happy, you need to make yourself happy first. By the way, you can't really make someone else happy. You can only help them to find happiness in themselves, but you cannot give them happiness. When I was 18 years old, I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, depression, and I was suicidal. I hated myself, I hated the world. I thought the pain was never going to end. I was drowning in my own misery. I was an unpleasant girlfriend, an unpleasant daughter, and I was unpleasant to myself. And when you are an unpleasant person to be around, life gets tough and lonely and sad. Because maybe that sounds really rough, but people don't like to stick around sad people. They like to help, but if nothing helps anymore, eventually they choose to walk away because it drags them down. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. I didn't want to drag anyone down anymore. So I sought help. Therapy, therapy, therapy. Especially hypnotherapy. But meditation showed me the power that I have, how strong I am, and how I can change myself. And I know you can do the same. I know you're freaking strong. I know you want it. You wouldn't be here anymore if you wouldn't want it. I believe in you. I believe that you can choose a happier life. And I want you to be happy. I want you to feel better. I want you to find inner peace. Because life is tough and painful. And we all go through times and phases where we just want to give up. And sometimes we feel so lost and lonely that we think there's no way out. But believe me, there is. You are the hero of your story. You can do this. I'm still working on it every day. And you know what? Sometimes I have shit days and I wake up and I feel like, fuck this, all of this. But you know what? I'm still here, I'm fighting. And I'm asking you, begging you to fight with me. Stay safe. Tell me how your journey is going so far. I love you. Take care. Bye. You lovely human being. Hello. Hey. Can you please subscribe to my YouTube channel? I I just want to say something funny, but I can't come up with anything. Somewhere here are other videos popping up that might help you. I hope you guys enjoyed my little video here. I know it was a little bit all over the place, but that was my year of meditation with all its ups and downs. Subscribe if you haven't already, and watch these videos if you think they can help you. Otherwise, I see you in the next one. Look at my cool socks. Peace out.